Madam Web. This movie is expected to come out in 2024. It's a spin-off of it's a Sony Spiderverses, you know what I mean?
Their new thing is in association with Marvel. Do you see that?
Yeah, yeah, in association with Marvel, but this is going to take place in the same timeline as Morbius, same timeline as Venom, and then Craven as well. So, and it's going to take place in the early 2000s.
Gonna try to explain everything that's happening here, and there's a
Mhm.
lot to unpack. So you would probably think that me being a comic book purist is going to crap on this movie, right?
Right.
Because it does not fall in line with the comic book, right?
Yep.
So let's just rewind and start from the beginning. Who
Yep.
is Madam Web? So Madam Web's first appearance is in Amazing Spider-Man 210. Her real name is Cassandra Webb, and she's basically in the comic books always depicted as an elderly woman. And she's also depicted as a blind paraplegic. Her powers include telepathy, clairvoyance. She can also appear in spirit form and in astral form. So she can kind of leave her body and go to certain space, like go to certain places in spirit form, and kind of.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, her role in the actual comic books is almost like an advisor to
Yeah.
Spider-Man. She always kind of helps him out with stuff like that.
Mhm.
Almost like Barbara Gordon when she became the Oracle in Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same kind of thing. She's like a confidant, always kind of helping Spider-Man out. So you can see in the trailer, this is obviously not the Madam Web that we're getting.
Right.
The Madam Web in the movie can see, she can move, and all types of stuff like that. Now, when you look at the movie does take place in the past, so you can see a lot of things in the trailer that are kind of showing you that we got the PSP reference, we got the old computer, we got the payphone outside the diner. So yeah, obviously this movie is going to take place in what we believe is the early 2000s. And in this movie, we are obviously seeing Madam Web, but we're also seeing three different incarnations of Spider-Woman. And we're seeing
Yep.
Anya Karazhan, which is the Spider-Woman from the 2004 Amazing Fantasy. We're also seeing Maddie Franklin, who is the Spider-Woman from 1998 Spectacular Spidey.
And
then
she's the niece of Triple J, right?
Yep.
J. Jonathan. Yeah.
Yep. And then also we're seeing Julia Carpenter, which you brought up. She's from 1984 Secret Wars. So that would put this in the same timeline, like you were saying. This is Earth 616. So this is Peter Parker's universe, right?
Okay. Yep.
So now what we're seeing in this trailer is Ezekiel Sims, and this is the introduction of the villain of the movie, right? So
Yep.
who is Ezekiel Sims? Ezekiel Sims first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man number 30, which was in 2001, the volume 2 version. And the way that he got his powers is he underwent a ritual which granted him the powers from the spider totem. That's, like you were saying, that's how he got his powers.
Yep.
Now, what is a spider totem? So a spider totem, basically what it is this is a class of multiversal entities created by the elder goddess Neith. And what their goal is they're basically linked to the web of life and destiny, right? So they do a bunch of duties that are involved with this web of life, including picking who becomes the Spider-Man or the Spider People, right? Basically, what they were trying to say is that this web of life and death is that spider people are chosen. It's not by chance. So Peter Parker getting bit by the spider and stuff like that, that was not chance. They all have this kind of plan where they pick out who is deserving of being the spider person in a said universe. Okay.
Gotcha.
So basically what happens is these totems are choosing the spider people, right? And this is how Sims gets his powers. Now, if you go back to the movie, Sims' main role in the comic books is that he needs to fight a group called the Inheritors. Now, who are the Inheritors? This is a lot that you need to understand for this movie to work. Now, who are the Inheritors? The Inheritors leech their powers off of the other spider people. So basically, it's like this rogue group of um like spider totems that their whole goal is to eliminate the rest of the spider people and start absorbing their powers, right?
Okay.
And the way that these are introduced in the comic book is that this group is led by a spider totem by the name of Morlun. And Morlun went back to Earth 616. This is what happens in the comic books, and tries to kill Ezekiel Sims in order to gain his powers. Now,
Okay.
Sims eludes Morlun. And once he learns about this entire group, he makes it his mission to learn everything about the inheritors and then try to like warn the other incarnations of the spider people in the multiverses about this group and how to protect themselves, right?
Okay.
What does this all mean? People are very upset about this trailer, and
Mm-hmm.
that they think that it's not following the storyline, and I'm going to throw it out there and say that this movie could possibly be like absolute genius to the point of following the storyline so well that you need to know all this information for it to make sense. My guess in this movie is that Sims as the villain is a red herring, because Sims' whole thing, like we talked about, is that he is protecting the other spider people from losing their powers, right?
Uh-huh.
So, who is in the black suit? I don't think it's Sims. I think it's Morlun, who is
Okay.
the leader of the inheritors, right? So, Morlun comes back to Earth 616 and is trying to get all of the powers from all of these spider people.
Yep.
And Sims is not the bad guy. Sims is actually trying to protect them, because what you need to know about Madam Web is that her visions of the future are not concrete. They're
Yeah, it's like
convoluted.
bits and pieces, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
it can, yeah.
yeah. So what I'm thinking is that Sims is not the bad guy. This is a total red herring, and that inside of that black suit is not Sims. It's Morlun, and like Sims is actually a good guy trying to protect them, and Morlun is the bad guy. It's like the trailer says there's a quote in the trailer that I really love where it says he's trying to change the future.
He's trying to change what happens.
He's trying to change. Sims is trying to change the future of what happens. And the
Mm-hmm.
answer to that question is yes, but in a good way. He's trying to
Right.
protect everybody from losing their powers. And I think people are not ready for what's going to happen in this
Yeah,
movie, and I
okay.
actually think it's going to follow the storyline like so well.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool in the way you kind of put that. Now, okay, so kind of going off that, if Moreland is going to, like, it's Ezekiel trying to save him from Moreland, do you think that because the way the timeline already is going forward, do you think that these Spider Women don't make it then? And then after they don't make it, now because Peter Parker, what in the movie or the trailer, you see Emma Roberts kind of back, and there's a baby shower with the balloons and everything. And I think that's Peter Parker. Now, do you think that essentially all these Spider Women are going to die, and then like it goes to Peter Parker? Like Moreland wins against them, but he doesn't get to Peter Parker.
I think what's going to happen, yeah, is that the end of this movie is going to be the introduction of Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how this movie is going to end, and I would not be surprised if one of these Spider Women does not make it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you think Madam Web or like Cassandra is not going to make it, and
I
then it's going to be the second Madam Web of Julia?
I think what's honestly going to happen is that the end of this movie, Cassandra Webb will take her form as the true comic book Cassandra Webb. So at the end of the movie, I do believe we're going to see like the birth of Peter Parker, and also that's when we're going to start to see Cassandra Webb start to really understand that she has this disease, the
The hard
yeah,
one.
the myasthenia gravis.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for anybody that's offended by that. I tried my best. But I think we're gonna start seeing that she's fully understanding that she has this disease, and she's starting to feel the effects of it.
Okay. Or you don't think it's going to be an accident that happens that leaves her paralyzed?
No,
And no, you think it's going to, like at the end of it, she's like, oh, why do I feel so like sick, or like what's going on with me? And then she goes to the doctor, that kind of situation. Not so much,
Yeah. No,
you know what I
I
mean? Like you don't think like Moreland, or if Ezekiel really is the villain, you don't think it's going to be like him, like, you know what I mean? Like somebody attacking her and that happens.
I think they have a chance to really kind of follow the story arc so amazingly well that
Mm-hmm.
if they do that where the bad guy of this movie ends up like hurting Cassandra Webb and that's how she gets paralyzed, would be a disservice. And
Okay.
I feel like if they're going this far, they like I feel like they are going really far to follow the storyline, and if they're going this far, they wouldn't ruin it with that one minute detail.